Hello and welcome to this video, which is designed to go alongside our written review at TSA of Cities Skylines, this new city building game from Colossal Order and Paradox Interactive. And yeah, obviously this is meant to go alongside the written review, but I figured that in some cases it's a lot better to see what's going on as opposed to just read about it, and so I just thought I'd give you a little tour of the game and the city that I have been building. As you load up the game, instantly you can see there's a lot of mods, save games, different buildings and stuff on the right hand side in the Steam Workshop, and that's only going to get bigger. The most interesting one right there as it scrolls up is all spaces unlockable, and this is to do with the way that the game works is you start off with one square tile, and then as you reach particular population limits, milestones I should say, you can unlock adjacent tiles next to it, and you can unlock up to 9 out of a grid of 25. The game has been designed with that limit in mind, and like a 1 million person limit and stuff like that, but obviously people want to build the biggest cities they possibly can. This is why so many people were disappointed by SimCity, and this is partly why Cities Skylines exists, because there is that market, there is that group of people that want this. So yeah, that mod is particularly interesting, but you can you can share save games, buildings, intersections, that kind of stuff, and you can build a lot of these in-game as well. Intersections is always a tricky one, of course. You've got a map editor, so you can create a whole new map, and you've also got an asset editor where I'll not go into it right now, but yeah, you can build those buildings and intersections and stuff like that. There's also 3 mods in the game right off the bat. You've got hard mode, which makes things a little bit more difficult. I think creating a building costs 25% more. People aren't generally as happy or more difficult to please, that kind of thing. But if you want to go in exactly the opposite direction, you've got unlimited money and unlock all, so that you don't have to hit those population milestones to unlock the next level of building. That's kind of like the easy mode, if you really want to just build a city and you don't care about any of the gameplay. But I don't think that the game is all that difficult to play anyway. Like I've got money ticking over, no problem. There are 3 different themes in the game at the moment. I believe that Colossal Order are looking at or thinking about creating new ones over time. It seems to be that they are fitting into Paradox Interactive's general plan, which is to always support the game for like a very long time after release with new content, new patches, stuff like that. And there's already a few things on Colossal Order's to-do list. You've got 3 themes, as I said. One is North European. Those are the first 3. You've got like a kind of Southern European look to the bottom 3, and then more of a Caribbean, like South American maybe, look to the bottom 3. So yeah, this is my city. I started off with this one tile here. The building's burning down already. Stop burning down, buildings. Started off with this one tile up here, and I decided... Like, it was a nice starting place because I have these 2 on and off ramps on the motorway, and there's the river running through, and so there's a lot of stuff there. And I started off with Forktown, which I called Forktown quite unimaginatively because the road forks in 2 different directions, like so. And I spread down here so that I could keep my industry away from the population centres and get a bit of money ticking over and stuff like that. And also, like, I put the landfill site down here, and the incineration. Well, eventually, once I unlocked the incineration plant, that went down there as well. But of course, I had to launch a 3-pronged, well, actually, 4-pronged attack on the other side. Just so that I could join up with that motorway over there, and that saw me creating this large, high-density residential area, which is absolutely rammed and teeming with people up here. And I think it looks quite cool over there. Actually, it's very, very metropolitan, very high-rise. You've kind of got like a suburbs feel over here, a bit more. There are a few high-density commercial buildings, like big shops, big supermarkets, that kind of things. The very unimaginatively names New Commercial Centre, because everybody go all the things superstore. I like that, actually. That's so stupid. Yeah, I expanded over here. There's more industry over this way. Like industry, I started to target particular types of industry depending on what natural resources there were. So over here, there were a lot of trees. So it was like, well, obviously you're going to go for forestry. Forestry Friends Limited. Woody's Wood. Woody's Wood again. Bless. This area used to have a lot of petrol, so there were a lot of oil, I should say, and so there were a lot of like pumping stations, not pumping stations, oil drills, oil pumps, and that has now turned towards more like plastics, goods from oil, refined oil, plastic perfection, that kind of thing. And so, like, because the oil well has dried up, they're now importing a lot of oil. And that's part of the reason why there is such a hellish amount of traffic down here. But that actually came after this section here. That was my first big oil escapade, I should say. And this is then my agricultural escapade, which isn't going quite so well. I'm not entirely sure why, but they seem to all struggle with having enough employees. And so once you've not got enough employees, or maybe if there's not enough demand for your goods, and like within the city you can kind of see like there's a medium demand for industry or offices, medium demand for commercial zones, and high demand for residential zones. So those are the three. I mean, like I need to expand basically, and this is telling me to do that down there. But it's also over here where I can see that this particular kind of industry is not working out. So maybe I need to refocus that. But this is a good agricultural area, and I will show you the natural resources tab shortly. It's struggling with. It's strange that they're struggling with employees because there's another like fairly big residential area to the north. But I'm not sure why. There's also lots of train links, although this seems to be going very, very wrong down here. Clearly, it's being run by British Rail, which is interesting. They're transporting passengers to train station. Down here, like I've tried to make this quite good, but it seems to be. This is like the fourth iteration of my rail strategy in this area, and it is failing every single time. There's a huge backlog of lorries, and one thing I would say about the traffic is that it's generally quite good. Like there's a hell of a lot of traffic on the roads. There's a lot of cars, a lot of lorries going back and forth, and it's tracking all of these goods going in. 67% load exporting forestry products, for example. It is tracking all of these things, but at the same time, it is like what is going on here. Like you just saw a truck disappear, and that is part of the way of the game coping, because sometimes the traffic goes wrong, and so you've got 6 lanes open to traffic, but it's only taking up 2, and it's just like, do you really need to be in the leftmost lane in order to be in a lane in these 3? You could use those 3 lanes to get into that. Maybe it could do a little bit more refining of the traffic system in that regard. But as a whole, like it chucks so much stuff around, and you can really see all of the cars going along. You can see all of these trucks going and everything like that. And it's really quite cool to see everything in motion. City's in motion, there we go. That's a little callback to Colossal Order's previous 2 games. Yeah, right, so I need to start expanding, but I first want to show you briefly show you through all of the info views. So first off, you have electricity, and electricity works in an interesting way. It spreads from one building to the next, so all of this is done without any power lines. This is all just like there's a building nearby enough that the electricity can spread from one to another. But if you do have something isolated like this incineration plant, now this is actually generating electricity because it's burning all of the rubbish that the city is making, or some of the rubbish that the city is making, but it's not connected to the grid. To connect the grid up, if there aren't any buildings, you do need these pylons down here, which I will highlight there. And so that's interesting. It works, but it's interesting when you are building a new area, and like the first buildings start to pop up, and it's just like, oh, we've not got any electricity. It's just like, well, just wait 15 minutes, for crying out loud, and you will have electricity arrive when you get some neighbours, for God's sake. Water is completely different though. That does not spread, it doesn't follow roads, anything. You have to draw out the water coverage for yourself, and that is quite simply, you just hook it up to, need to cover this area anyway, like that. There we go. You just need to hook it up to the last bit, and water will start to flow through it. You do need a lot of pumping stations though. Got enough water. I should probably build another sewage processing plant. You can see there all of the, like, you can just have a sewage outlet, a water drain pipe, and that just chucks a huge amount of garbage into the water. This entire river was brown at one point under the pollution-ometer, but as you can see here, it's just light brown now. It's only mildly poo water, but these areas are just covered in poo. You can tell that it's an industry area because it's full of this horrific mess. Funnily enough, pigs and cows and stuff do not create much poo or destroy the land, which is, yeah, that's nice. But that lone incinerator there is like obviously affecting people's enjoyment of the area. Oh, one nice side effect which I want to show you is this. It turns the grass purple nearby, and I really like it for this cemetery, which now has a very haunted look to it, which I don't have in any of the other cemeteries. In fact, this is a good way of showing you the live feedback that you have. So, like, if you can see the way that the green spreads. Oh, if I'm doing it properly, you can see the way that the green spreads along the road, and I think that's quite a cool effect. It shows you very, very easily. Is that a good place? That is a pretty good place. I know that it's horrifically heavy traffic. Whatever. I'm sure the kids, they're secondary school kids, they can figure it out. And yeah, the happiness was just spread across the map there. That's shown there. Health, generally quite healthy. I could probably do with building another clinic or two. Yeah, I will build one. Yeah. It's a park. Come on, let me build it somewhere. Well, along the main road, and those guys over there will just have to suffer. Wind. See, now the thing with wind is that it's good that it shows you like the amount of wind, so you know where to place your wind turbines, and you have these advanced wind turbines here. There's lots of options you can have for electricity production. You can have these wind turbines, you can have a hydroelectric dam, which I do have at the top of the river, solar energy, or you can obviously burn coal and oil and stuff like that. But the one but whilst like coal and oil like create ground pollution, and so do all of these oil buildings, they don't like spread the pollution into the air, which I think is a disappointing thing, because there's a huge amount of muck being chucked up into the air. And if I knew that like downwind was also downriver, then it would make sense to have these here, and to have the population centres to the right of it. But if it's chucking it all to the right, then like people over here are not going to be too happy. So maybe I would refocus that industry, and I think that would be a nice twist. Yeah, as I said earlier, you can see this is a terrible, terrible, terrible design for my traffic, and I'm not sure what else I can really do here, but I might have to come back to it and redesign it once again, yet again. Transport's interesting. You can see all of the lines going back and forth, but when you're creating them, it always says that you need to create a circular line, and this is, I think, only really true for buses, because like in real life, where you have a train line or a bus line, or a lot of the times like an underground metro line, they don't generally go in a circle, they go back and forth, and So it's a bit odd that the game says that you need to do everything in a circle. With the buses, it kind of makes sense. Like, there's no way that they could really turn around in this junction here. That would be mayhem and nonsense. So instead, you want to just take them around the houses a little bit, and then double back. And I find, instead of just doing a big circle and joining it up, I find this to be the most aesthetically pleasing way of doing things. If you've got a one-way system, of course, you can't double back down the same road, but I like to have my bus stops matching up as much as possible. In fact, oh yes, if you change the line colour, that actually changes the colour of the buses. So those buses are now green, which is nice. But underground, and with the trains here, you can actually just have an end station and then double back. So all of these trains are coming in here. Oh, show it. All of these trains are coming in along the glowing red line. They are stopping here and then they're heading out on the other side. And I think that could be better explained, because that's actually my preferred way of having it work. I've got a long winding route. Initially, it did lead me to have such a stupid system as this, where everything goes around in a circle and all this nonsense. But there's no need for that. You could just go back and forth, and you can have basically a straight line system. As you can see underneath all of this petrol industry stuff, which I will get to in a second, there's a lot of green now. It used to be black. It used to be the black of oil. And this view is actually particularly useful because when it comes to buying the next area, you can bring that up and you can see over here there's a lot of ore which I have bought, and I am going to exploit it sooner or later. There's also a lot of ores over here. This one I just wanted the rail link. That's why I bought that area, because then I can fiddle around with trains, because who doesn't like trains? And yeah, that's okay. The final one. This is a good one. The final tab shows you the different what they called districts, and the districts are brilliant because whilst you can set a policy for the whole city, you can also, this has not been turned into a district yet, you can also do things on a district by district basis. So in the economy tab, you can set your taxes, budget, loans, and actually because I've got so much money, I'm going to pay that back right now. And you can manage these sliders, and these generally affect the whole city. But then you also have policies. And underneath policies you have taxation, so you can raise the taxes across the city for low density residential. But then if you click on a district and you click on policies, I could say a tax raise for low residential, and that only affects this particular zone. And so that is very clever for encouraging businesses to maybe go here. So for example, this area where I have zoned for a lot of offices, I have given a tax relief for offices, which I will now get rid of. No, actually, I will keep it because I want my offices to grow further and wider and stuff like that. Oh, and these are just as with all of the citizens. You can rename this the Heights Office Land. Let's rename this car. It's called SUV. Now it is called James. No, it's called Herbie. Of course, it's called Herbie. What else would I call a car? Doesn't make any sense to call it anything else. But where was I? Oh yes, and the other thing that you can do. This is why all of the industry here is centered around oil and plastics and stuff like this. And this is because I have given it the oil industry specialization. I could then set it to generic industry or ore industry, which is what I will do when it comes to ores. And so there will be lots of mines and stuff like that. And these do have certain effects. They do have certain upsides, downsides, and stuff like that. But you have that ability to specialize. So I do have this kind of buffer of tree-based industry here, which kind of separates all of this population from the pollution of the oil industry, which is quite neat, I think. I really quite like that. But enough prattling on, let's do some things. So I'm going to build a nice big expansion zone over here. So I'm going to build curvy roads. Road creation in this game is quite fantastic. Like, I can build a straight road like that, for sure, or I can build curvy roads, or I could just go freeform. There we go. Oh. That'll be a big circle. There we go. That looks like a balloon. I just built a road equivalent of a balloon. But tell you what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to make it a face. Like that. Of course, it's a happy face. And there. There we go. Nice happy face for you. And actually what I want to do is then have this hooked up to the rail network. And to do that, another curvy roads edition. Like so. One thing that I really like is the snap to grid feature. So snapping, basically it's along a straight line until I get past a few degrees off, or I could just have it completely freeform. The thing with having it completely freeform is that you end up with like crazy angles which just don't look realistic. That means that the trains have to run really, really slowly as well. So for the trains in particular, I like to have relatively nice and gradual curves anyway. There we go. That is a nice bit of train. What else should I do? I should have lots of roads to join up the kind of eyes and nose bits. Yes, and like that, maybe like that. I'm not entirely sure you can really see that anymore, so I'm going to build a couple of parks for the eyes. Wow, you can't really see that either, so I'll build more parks here. And then fill this area with trees. And little shrubs. There you go. Once I zone this for residential, people are going to love this. Let's see. Nobody can actually get there yet, though. And also it doesn't have electricity or water, so I need to expand the water supply. Like that. And also there are no on and off ramps of this motorway. I'm not entirely sure how I can do that. So there are bespoke on and off ramps in the game, and you can build this. You can create your own motorways if you want to. This is a good one if you've got two motorways crossing each other, and that's actually what I used over here. But that wasn't for motorways. That was just to join up the two sides of the motorway. But you can't zone buildings alongside a motorway, and the motorway lanes are always one way. Oh, you do need to be careful when it comes to creating one-way roads, because it's always... I will show you this in a second, and I will no doubt get it completely wrong. But you always have to start and then head in the direction that is one way. So, in fact, I'll show you now. That traffic is going down. Or it's going to the right now, actually, I should say. And if I were to start here and go there, you can see these arrows have started to butt into each other. I feel that maybe that could be simplified. It could be like if there's one-way road and it's obvious in this instance that it's going to go to the right, it should automatically be able to figure that out. But let us build a big roundabout. And I think this is going to cause trouble. Like, the reason why I can't use a bespoke thing, maybe I can... Nope, I cannot raise this off the ground, so I'm going to have to create my own roundabout from scratch. Let's see. Oh, yep, raising and lowering the roads is as simple as pressing up and down on the number pad. Not number pad, page up and page down. So let's see, where am I at? Let's go 2, there we go. And then I want to have a semicircle. Like so. Oh, this is not going to be very circular. I'll tell you that now. Oh well. It will do. That will not do though. There we go. A nice ovoid kind of thing. You've then got on and off ramps, and so... Oh, because of course it is... Huh. Let's see. There we go. From that distance, that is good. And then, nope. I do not want to go that way. Like that. Nice bit of relative symmetry. On the other side, we have... Is that going underneath the railway? It is. That's good. And then from here... No, you see, I've just done it. Nobody can use that. It's not an off-ramp. It's an on-ramp, that. That's off. That is going the right way. This is going the right way. You see, it's little things like that where I just think, oh, why? Why are you doing this? And then that. Like that. Okay. Right. Finally... I'm just going to go full... No, I'm just going to go with actually just one of these. There you go. And yeah, so the world is now connected to that. Water is supplied. Electricity is not yet supplied. But I can rectify that quite quickly. Like so. You can also build a... There's not going to be much wind there, but I'll build this here. And here. Here. Oh, not there. There, like that. So there's a bunch of wind turbines. That's probably why the balloon is heading off in that direction, I guess. I quite like to have... like blocks of residential and stuff like that. Oh, not there. Rather than anything higgledy-piggledy. Zone for high residential here. I will obviously need to build school. You there. You there, and you there, like so. Elementary school. Everything's just going to go down here, actually. I am of the opinion that grouping everything like this together like this is the best system. Come on, you've got power and stuff like that. And then the rest of this can actually be residential. Just normal residential. So go like this. Like that. Right, and then I'm going to create a bus route, which runs from... where should I start from? From here. It goes all the way over to here. This is crazy bus route. To there. Outside there. And yeah, oh yeah, that was good. That's a good example. Sharing a bus stop. So there's nobody waiting there at a minute, but were someone waiting there, they would be able to get on any of those buses. That's a very good system. And finally, so there's the coup de grace. How do I... Oh, I'm in buses, that's why I can't do that. There we go. Ta-da! Obviously I then need to build one on that side as well. Ah, but... Oh, should I? Well, can you actually go all the way over there? Yes, you can! Hey, that is good. And then I'll actually just have that a back and forth route, like so. Complete the line. That's a nice one. So all of that passenger transport will go over there. And yeah, you can already see, I will whack up the speed a second, you can already see, like, some of the demand for a residential zone has decreased. There's maybe more demand for offices and shops now, but we'll get there. And as the land value increases, these buildings will level up and become more desirable to people and stuff like that. So yeah, there is the balloon zone it district. I'm going to call this Balloon Face Hills, because why would I call it anything else? Tax relief, and tax relief. But a pet ban, but recreational use, and feature public transport in this area, because you're so isolated from the rest of the world. And there we have it. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh no, I said that across the whole city. Now everybody's smoking weed and doing hardcore drugs. God damn it. This is the worst train system in the world. Why are you so bad? You've got 3 people on you. Why do you need so many trains? There's only one train route. 12 people on a train. Well, this is ridiculous.